Feel like getting high. Meet me on the corner. No, I won't be long. Yeah, on the other side.
Howdy, folks. Jacob V from here, and I do have Justin Michael with me. But we're going to take a look at this little update right here on what's going on in Ohio. We've got a lot to cover. And guess what? Erin Brockavich has been contacted by yours truly.
Fire at the Norfolk Southern Rail line in East Palestine, Ohio was a bigger deal than they said. At last Wednesday's press conference with the governor, a reporter asked what chemicals were of concern, and this is what the representative from the railroad said.
Obviously the vinyl chloride that,
Vinyl chloride.
we had to vent and burn, and then a little bit of lube oil,
Non-haz lube oil, a little bit.
The butyl acrylate that is what a lot of what we're gathering.
So today, the 12th, 4 days later, the EPA released the manifest sent to them yesterday from Norfolk Southern Railroad. This document can be downloaded directly from the EPA's website from the link in my bio. I brought up this non-haz lube oil before because just because it's non-hazardous doesn't mean that it's okay to spill it into the ground. So he said a little bit. Well, their train manifests here says they lost almost 2 full loads. These classes of train cars can carry up to 30,000 gallons. I have another video posted right before this that went into more things that were listed on this list but never previously mentioned. So we know that there have been tens of thousands of gallons of petroleum oil spilled. The question is, how much of it burned? We also know that they've been using vac trucks and skimmers to collect more material, but how much have they caught? 1 gallon of petroleum oil can pollute up to 1 million gallons of water. It's going to be really important for us to find out exactly what those petroleum oils were, because most petroleum oils have additives added to them that modify certain characteristics of the product. There are tons of different chemicals that are used for this purpose, but some of them are those forever chemicals, PFAS, that you've heard about. They don't break down in nature, and they can be harmful to humans even in very small amounts. It can cause developmental issues, immune issues, cancer. What this document shows us is there's kind of 3 levels to this disaster. There was the initial fire, the intentional fire to prevent the explosion of the vinyl chloride tanks, then an oil spill.
Okay.
All right, folks. This right here is from NBC News now, okay? It says right here, train derailed in the Houston area, kills a driver. Officials report the train was carrying hazardous materials, prompting Union Pacific to monitor all air quality at the site of the crash, according to the Splendora Police Department. Well, apparently there was a semi-truck that was crossing this road, smacked the train, and caused the derailment, right? So that's what's being reported. And this is, by NBC News. East Montgomery County, Texas. Where's the truck? Do you guys see a truck here? I don't see a truck or his trailer. I don't see a semi anywhere here. All I see is trains being derailed. That's it. I seen the one tanker said CSX, so that's CSX Intermobile. I don't, this is obviously a huge spillage, but I see no semi-truck.
None.
A tractor or trailer. Do you see one?
Not even a part of one.
No, I don't see anybody. Because if you guys have ever seen when a train smacks a semi-truck, whether it hits the trailer or even if the truck smacked the side of the train, it's still going to be a complete disaster. I mean, there's going to be parts all over the place. I don't see anything resembling a semi-truck at all. So
no, there would be pieces everywhere.
Oh yeah. So where's it at? What's going on, man? All right, Justin. Glad to have you back on, bud. Now, Justin, you've sent me some videos. I do want to play some of these videos. Justin, what did you do up there in East Palestine?
I was poking around, took some water, but
got some water samples from above and below what?
Where they were spraying. They were spraying something. I want to say, I don't know.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top story.
Yeah, so they were spraying something in the water, and we actually do have that video here. I'd like to show some people, which would be really great.
Spraying in multiple places all the way up one stream. Like one stream, they were just spraying all the way, like, I don't know, probably 3 to 5, like, spouting. Like they had these hoses hooked to these trucks and these containers that came on these trucks, and it's all on the videos and stuff. But maybe they were spraying what they were supposed to be spraying in it to help the situation. I don't know. But I mean, they already know that at least the butyl acrylate is in the water, and it's been detected in Steubenville, Ohio, which is right where I'm at. So it's obviously moving. There was 55 counties in West Virginia that flooded a few days ago, right after it started. So it's almost like it's just like the rain and the flood, it can move it around and it's sitting on the bottom of the creeks and stuff when it's settled. It's kind of like a unnerving thought, but it's like a ticking time bomb, like waiting for a storm for people's drinking waters to be able to get a high enough amount of it, because it's got to be flooded and the river carries it. And the creeks are taking it to the river. And all of our tap water here is connected directly to the river.
Oh yeah, that's the bad news there. Now I just showed some people a few other things. There's been more than just one train derailment, folks. There has been several. I actually made contact last night. I sent Erin Brockavich, yes, the famous Erin Brockavich, or infamous, however you want to say it. I sent her an email. She's got my name, my phone number, my email, and description of what's going on, and that you, Justin, had gone up to East Palestine and you got a sample of water both above and below where they're spraying whatever it is into the creek. So hopefully that will trigger a bite from Erin Brockavich and want to make contact with me. And actually, her name will be in the title of this. Hopefully that'll draw some attention. Kind of draw out the nibbles, like, so, okay, so we can try and get this to her to get things taken care of.
I've got the samples for her. If she'd be willing to use any of her contacts to do anything to really get it tested. These need more than pH strips from Walmart. That's not what I don't know. I don't understand, but I feel like there needs to be somebody more with like a lab expertise that tests the water than just like
yeah, for
strips.
sure.
But
Now,
but
one of the
maybe
other. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just say, pulling out the big guns. Maybe she'll be interested. She made a statement to CBS News. I seen it yesterday where Erin Brockavich made a statement to CBS News saying that it's that the East Palestine, the situation's a lot worse than like and this is paraphrasing, but she said it's a lot worse than they're saying. There needs to be like accountability and stuff like that. Like she was saying that it is, because I wish that we were wrong, Jacob, and we were being dramatic and stuff, but this is a really like bigger event than we've been through, and what people realize. Like this is
not just Ohio. Oh, I totally agree. But we're not talking just about Ohio, though.
no, not at all.
We're gonna go over these, folks. Now, check this out. This actually got sent to me. Check this out. This is a QAnon drop. Okay, a Q. Okay, trains. We know what's going on with the trains. There have been several derailments, accidents involving chemicals and trains, but it also has buses on here. So now that's got my curiosity piqued. Are we going to start seeing issues with, school buses, God forbid, with kids on them, or, touring buses like Greyhound or something, if you're trying to travel one place or another, or if it's like a specialty tour bus. Yeah, and it's like, so that's got me going, uh-oh. So, if that comes to fruition. Okay, but there have been several places. We got East Palestine, Ohio, Splendora, Texas, which is near Houston, and Nori, South Carolina. We got a chemical plant. Let's see. That's let me get down to it here. We got a chemical plant in what do you call it? In Chicago, Illinois, Chicago Heights. I mean, we're looking at pictures of dead fish and wildlife and stuff like that here, right out of the Ohio River there. We've got what else? Oh yeah, there was right here in Ohio. Photo: Taylor Holzer, a fox keeper in East Palestine, Ohio, says several foxes he keeps on his property became mortally ill. Norfolk Southern Corps can't get away with what they have done. Kieran is dead. The rest of my foxes are suffering. So that obviously this is not good. And it's not just going to be foxes, folks. It's going to be everywhere. Now, this is supposedly in Ohio. This is someone's driving through there. Wow. Look at that black cloud. Oh my.
Yeah, that's what people are calling a plume, right? That's what the plume. Is that the plume?
Yeah.
That's just the straight smog from the burn off. That's literally the burn off, just moving around, just like a weapon.
Yep. Now here we go. Breaking: massive smoke spotted amid large industrial fire at a factory in Chicago Heights. A good way to detox from. Okay, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah. Yeah, whatever. So this is called an industrial fire, but guess what, folks? It's actually a chemical plant.
Yep.
It's industrial, but it's a chemical plant. Now this is where things get really. Some people can say, "Oh, it's a coincidence," whatever, but I don't think so because now if this being a chemical plant, okay, and they've got chemicals on the railroad. And I suspect they went right through East Palestine, Ohio, because what kind of license plates were you seeing there in East Palestine, Ohio when you were there, bud?
I just happened to document that I was noticing a lot of Illinois plates on all the trucks that came with all the like official vehicles. They were obviously the people there.
Now,
Trucks.
what the hell does Illinois have to do with Far East Ohio? Nothing.
Right.
Indiana separates them. So what is it? So my suspicion is that those were their chemicals, and then they're going to set their place ablaze. Of course, insurance. They get a big old claim out of it. So that way you burn evidence at both ends. I mean, think
Right.
about that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But
No, that makes perfect sense.
that's only my opinion, folks. Now, there are some weird things going on everywhere. Check this out. This is in Mecca now.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know
This was like a month ago.
I saw what that was. That big black Borg cube.
Yeah.
So it's got to make you wonder
Just like-
what is going on in Mecca.
Just
You know what I mean?
Just like the ones around the sun.
Yeah, and you saw all that lightning and all that, those flashes. Like, man, something weird might be going on with this thing, bud.
Mm-hmm. There's no telling. I got so many things that I could think of to speculate on that, but let's stick to the.
Here's another one right here.
Yeah, this is Arizona.
Highway in Tucson, Arizona. Residents told to shelter in place.
Nitric
What,
acid.
do you remember?
Yeah, nitric acid.
Nitric acid. Oh my gosh! All these acids that are being. Look at that reddish orange plume of toxic chemicals. People just driving through, like, okay, yeah, we'll just keep going. Are you nuts? If I was driving down the highway and I saw that brakes on and I'm getting off that highway, I don't care if I got to off road, whatever. No thing. I am not driving through that. I guarantee you. Every person on this side that's westbound, or what I would assume this to be westbound, they're all sick right now. Everyone that
Always
drove through that.
those at all costs. If you see any kind of funny colored smoke, avoid it at all costs. I mean, at all costs, don't go through that. Don't ever go.
Yeah.
I would have messed traffic all up, but I would have went, like you said, I would have went off road. I would have took my chances on getting stuck or something before I just went directly through it.
Oh, look, Montreal, Canada. This is all happened since East Palestine, folks.
Right.
All happened since our last video that we did on the catastrophe in East Palestine. All of these things that I'm showing you have been since then, and there's a crap ton of them. We've got stuff.
Yeah, Braintree.
Yeah, we've got Kissimmee, Florida, chemical plant fire. We've got South Carolina train derailment, Texas train derailment, Ohio train derailment, that chemical knockover there in Arizona. There's Chicago, Illinois, the chemical plant fire. And then in Port of Catoosa, Oklahoma, a crude oil tank caught on fire with blue plumes. I mean, and then let's see, there was something else going on up near Washington, Oregon area. I can't remember. And then something in Minnesota. Like, there's so many. And then you've got one in Montreal, Canada. And then
one right next to Boston in a place called Braintree, right next to Boston. I think it was.
I think I actually got that one. And then look at this. UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter crashed on Highway 53 near Huntsville, Alabama, killing all personnel on board. What? Now, I'm not going to watch this, folks. If you really want, you can go to Disclose TV on Telegram, and you can probably see it there. Or if you reach out to me on Telegram, I'll forward it to you. I don't like watching people die. I just don't. It's not something I enjoy. It's not something I want to promote. Watching people die. It's because it's a horrific thing. Because
did they say what brought it down?
Huh?
Did they say what brought it down? Did they give a reason in the story?
But just to kind of reflect on Turkey for a second here, this is what we saw over Turkey, right?
Right.
Look at this.
Right.
Ain't that weird?
Yeah.
Now, this is supposedly an old painting from a European church, and if anyone has any info on this painting, and the year, please specify in the to me. Let me know in the comments below so we can kind of get this corrected. Non-conformista, Martine, I know you got access to a bunch of old churches and stuff like that over there. If show this photo around. If you want, I'll send it to you on Telegram. See if you can find out if anybody knows anything about this, because this is Jesus and Mary, and these are all UFOs, bro.
Right. Those are definitely UFOs.
Yeah, or excuse me, spacecraft, if you will. But if you also look, it kind of looks like a cloud. So spaceships, clouds, they're masking in clouds. That's exactly what this is showing.
That's exactly what it looks like to me.
Yep. And then here's the other eerie thing. Check this out. What? This is where the majority of it happened. This was the epicenter of all of the quakes, and it looks just like an eye, just like that.
Right. So something, what do you think? I got a lot of like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I really don't. What do you think? Like, if you had to take a guess of what do you think it's like HARP? Do you think it's like extraterrestrial race of people with advanced technology? Do you think it's like supernatural?
Honestly,
regular human?
I think it's a combination of both, because if we're doing it, it's because, I say we as in earthlings doing it because of reversed engineering of alien technology.
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's how we have direct energy weapons. That's how HARP, came about, CERN, all because of reverse engineered alien technology. So that's my opinion. So I would have to say a combination of both. I don't think it was a specific extraterrestrial species doing it intentionally. I think it was ourselves, basically the elites, the cabal doing this because, yeah, they're just evil, sick, psychotic individuals. That's why my channels, or this particular playlist, is called Psycho Clown World, because they are freaking psycho clowns.
It appears to be so. It appears to be so. I always try to look at it from every possibility and stuff, and I try to look at it as in, how it can't. To me, I don't believe that every person in the secret societies and in these orders and stuff are involved in like the cabal's nefarious global plans of something like a handful of train derailments happening one after another, poisoning the United States water supply, and nobody realizing that's exactly what just happened. It's like a game to them. That. I think we're going to talk about that, but I don't think everyone is involved. That I think that there's a lot of moving parts to it that are ignorant, is what I'm saying. Is that I don't believe that it's so big. I think that we're dealing with a small group of people that have enough influence, enough money, and enough power that they're able to construct these events and make them happen. But the actual people doing the legwork and carrying the stuff out for them, compartmentalize it, is what's going on. I don't think any of them have really put it together. Like, I don't think the people that were acting kind of shady with me being there taking those water samples were like evil or in on some evil plan or thought the water was getting done like on purpose or something. But they knew enough to where they were uncomfortable that I was poking around, and it was a very clear energy that everybody switched up, staring at me like, nudging each other. Looked like that's why I couldn't stay in one spot there, because I felt like I was going to get approached, and I was just walking along a creek. But it was strange, because I started thinking about that more and more. I want to be careful. I don't want to accuse millions of people, because I mean, if you think about it, there's like 6 million Freemasons on the planet. They are just reaping the benefits of being in the secret societies. They're not carrying out nefarious plans, nor capable of coming up with them and stuff, but they might be doing some of the legwork for them. They might be doing some of the legwork without realizing it. But that's
the thing. If you join a secret society and you don't look into the secret society and what they're about and the stuff that they do and whatever, and you're doing some things and you're reaping benefits from others suffering, you're just as guilty as the ones at the top pulling the strings, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. It's sad. It's sad because of how many people fall into that category.
Yeah. Now check this out, folks. This is the one here in Port of Catoosa. Now this isn't far from my kids, and this actually got my eyeballs. I'm like, oh crap! But prevailing winds go from the west to the east. and they live west of Puerto Catoosa, so they were fine. In fact, I spoke to my oldest son, and he told me that he didn't even know about it. So he didn't, he was either in school or work, and there was no smoke. So whenever it happened, he didn't happen to see anything about it. But check this out, folks.
Evacuations are happening to areas in the Port of Catoosa that are along the flow of the wind as this fire continues to burn. We'll show you what this looks like from our vantage point right here. We're on State Highway 266 and also at the junction of Arkansas Road and Keatonville Road, one of the entrances here at the Port of Catoosa. You can see a little bit of the tip of the flames coming out of this area. Also, lots of black smoke. Of course, it is quite a windy morning so far, so there's a lot of wind blowing in that area. So they do have evacuations going at this time. You can see right here at this entrance.
Now, I'm muting it for right now. I'm very familiar with this area, and this is Port of Catoosa. So this one is not fake footage at all, because I used to live up here in this area, and I'm very familiar. But you see all those tankers on the railroad full of crude oil. This one here is burning, but you got this one. I mean, you've got other ones. This potentially could have been absolutely catastrophic. I will tell you that. So I think that things are going on, smoke and mirrors, look over here, not over there. So if all this is going on to draw our attention, what else is going on? Now, this was also sent to me. Check this out. This is from somebody in Williamsburg, Ohio, went to boil some water, and this is what they had seen when they did it. Now, do you have this kind of issue when you're boiling water there?
Water yet? I was going to, though. I did see this too, and I'm gonna test this out. I don't eat or drink any tap water. I told you we only shower in it, which is not, not a very good thought right now either. But it's been a long time since I've boiled tap water because I don't cook with it. Long before this happened.
Now, this right here was sent to me. I can't enlarge it, unfortunately, but it says, food for thought. The laws governing Agenda 2030 land development allow governments to seize polluted land and move their residents into smart cities. Important to note, if the land plus water around you is completely poisoned, you don't get to opt out of the smart city model coming down the pike. Are you starting to understand yet? Yeah, it's kind of starting to make some sense. They're really trying to get some of this stuff done. Now, this here, it says, is America under attack? Okay. This right here is firefighters are currently battling a massive 5-acre warehouse fire in Kissimmee, Florida. Hazmat teams are on the scene. Folks.
Now, do you think they're going to blame Russia soon for all these events?
Russia or China? I'm waiting for Russia or China for it. I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting for that little ruse.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I feel like that's coming.
Russia, now here's the thing, folks, and you have to understand this. China, they might be diabolical that way, but Russia doesn't give a crap. And I will say this about Putin. If you actually study on Vladimir Putin's character, he knows that the American people are not at fault for the government. And
right, he does know that. And he says it often enough.
Yeah, he says it often enough. Putin would not intentionally do any of this stuff to harm the American people because he wants us to be like when Trump was the president, we were friends. And he knows this. He would literally just do an attack on DC, period. He wouldn't be doing all of this stuff. Yeah. He would not coordinate this whatsoever. So that's something to take in consideration. Now, China, on the other hand, I wouldn't put it past him. So now,
well, I just feel like with FEMA just getting deployed there 2 weeks after in East Palestine, that they're getting ready to tell us, oh, it's worse than we initially thought. We shouldn't have told everybody to go straight back and drink the water and bathe in it in East Palestine and the surrounding areas. It is worse, and that's going to be the beginning of the chaos because that's why it's 2 weeks later. Why else is FEMA showing up there 2 weeks later unless things are escalating?
I'll bet you they showed up 11 days later.
Probably.
Now, check this out, folks. This is in the Netherlands, okay? This right here is in Groningen, Netherlands. Thick clouds of carcinogenic smoke fill the air from a fire in the polyester warehouse. It says, this is going global, and obviously it is. Now, to confirm this, okay, because some things could be BS. I did call non-conformista. Her name is Martine, and I spoke with her. I said, "Hey, is there any truth to this?" She lives in the Netherlands. She dug up on it, said, "Yep, it's absolutely true." And she said the two individuals that were responsible for it have been caught. So I don't. That's kind of interesting. Boy, I'd love to be a fly on the wall questioning those guys. You know, what questioning's going on. Now,
it's hard to tell because you never know when they got a scapegoat, and or whenever it really is the culprits. You don't know.
check this out. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but why did the CDC update their profile for vinyl chloride 11 days before the train crash in Ohio?
They did what?
Okay, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but why did the CDC update their profile for vinyl chloride 11 days before the train crash in Ohio?
What does that mean? Update their profile for vinyl chloride. What is?
So all the information and data for vinyl chloride on the CDC's website was updated 11 days before the crash. 11, Janus or Janus.
Wow. Huh.
That's why I said it wouldn't surprise me if it was 11 days before FEMA showed up.
It probably was 11 days because the article said 2 weeks, but they probably knew it for a couple of days by the time that article got put out.
Oh,
It
yeah.
didn't say it exactly. They just said 2 weeks after train derailment. So it could be 11 days and they call it 2 weeks.
Yep. Now this was right here was the Ohio chemical release. This is what it looked like from space, or well, in our upper atmosphere. Look at that. That is just. This almost looks like a gigantic butthole right here, don't it? Or like a vortex.
It's grimy, man. That looks bad.
That's super pretty. But here's what gets me. Notice how it's perfectly round.
Yeah.
You would think the prevailing winds would kind of maybe push it a little. I mean, you can kind of see it kind of this way a little bit, but it's just this part just kind of makes me go, Don't you think?
It's a little strange.
interesting. Oh, this is that video you sent me. Check this out. After they throw the water in, you can look at all the chemicals and stuff.
I see multiple people do this right at the creek that I was at. So I know this is real because I've seen regular people do this at the same creek that I was at, recognize the same spot. I've seen people do it on TikTok in East Palestine a handful of times now, more than one or two. I know that this is what's happening. If you still rock around in the creek in East Palestine, this stuff comes up off the bottom. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it means, but it's there. And I know it's there because I've seen it enough now.
Oh, yeah. Let's scroll on up here. That was that one. Let's see, we saw that. Okay, we're going to start playing on some of these videos here, folks. You guys need to check this out. We're going to start off with the you want to get the one with the what? Oh, this was the one we really need to show them. Check this out, folks.
You can skip around on them. It don't matter. I just was recording, so you don't have to play it all, or you can if you want.
This one here where you're down there by the water, you can see them spraying, and then you're getting the waters. Or do you not want to show that necessarily?
I don't care about not showing any of them. I live streamed a lot of time. I left it all up in case somebody notices something on it. I left it all up.
All right, but check this out, folks. Here's a pump, and they're clearly putting something in the water right there. Look at that. Now I've got the sound off so that we can actually kind of chit chat about it.
Yeah. Cause you fast forward through me blabbing.
There's the news crew that you spoke with. Oh yeah. Tell everybody what happened when you talked with the news crew.
It was an interesting interaction because he was really like energized. I really feel like, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like I missed something or something. Like I feel like he wanted me to notice something, or was it because he was too excited? When I started taking the first water sample, he ran over to the edge of the bank because you can see it's pretty steep right there. So when I took the first water sample, he like ran over to the bank and was just like, hey, are you taking water? Just like real excited, like keep asking me the same questions repeatedly and stuff. He didn't seem like he had a problem with me doing it. He seemed like he was excited that I did it, because I remember thinking maybe I actually have something in this bottle when I seen how he was behaving, because like maybe there's reasons why the official news reporters wouldn't be the ones to take the water samples and like pretty much, like, dude, there could be something really nefarious going on here, and it could be going on all over the whole country at the same time. It looks that way.
Well, the other thing is that we already know that news reporters were being arrested for asking questions on scene.
Right.
Well,
Right.
what's going on? Why are they being arrested? What questions were they asking to get them arrested? So many questions about the questions, So
That's funny. Yeah, I didn't think about that when I was thinking about how he was acting, but that's very true.
now here's what really kind of got me going. What the F? So what was the name of the news agency he told you?
He told me the script or the scripted, but it was the script or the scripted for sure, because I looked this up and I can't find anything. There's some weird little newspaper in some small areas somewhere in the country that's not nowhere near here, and that's all I could find through Google searches and stuff. But that's what he told me. I said, what news agency? I said, are you guys independent or who you with? And he said, we're with the script. And then I remember that stuck with me because I was thinking, what does that mean? Like, it kind of made me feel weird for a second. And I said, well, where's CNN and all them guys at? And he said, right here. And they were sitting in the car right there with their window down talking to him. And that black SUV that was parked directly next to me, that was the CNN vehicle. So I was like, oh, all right. Well, I feel kind of dumb now. But then it's like, I went back and forth with this in my head. I know I didn't misunderstand him, but it's the only thing I can say that makes logical sense. But I know he told me he was with the script, is what he said. I knew he said that because I thought that was a weird thing to say. It started feeling like in the Matrix kind of thing. When he said that, I was like, the script. Like, what does that mean?
No kidding. Like, it's called the script or scripted. Like, wait, what?
That's what he said, man. That's really what he said. Like, I know that's what he said to me. Because I remember thinking the whole time, like, I was going to look it up and stuff because I couldn't believe that was the name of it. And it's what he said. And I can't find anything. And I can't find him on any clips searching through just regular news clips of like local news, national news of people. I found multiple reporters standing where we were parked at and by that stretch of creek. I seen a lady reporter with the local news. I think it was Sky News. She was throwing rocks in. A reporter was throwing rocks in, but it didn't have many views.
Right. Here's a little something for y'all to keep in mind. You sent me this, Justin. I think this is pretty cool. Check this out, folks.
When the earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it, and believe me, he's winding up. When the earth starts,
Gotta make you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, they put everything in movies, man. Things that we should be paying attention to.
For sure. Man. Now, this also apparently happened last week as well, folks. This is in Rio de Janeiro. This is that big, huge Christ statue, and it got struck by lightning right in the face. Totally defacing it, by the way. It's going to make you wonder what's going on. Do you guys remember that movie or that little series that I covered on my Psycho Clown World called I Pet Goat? It shows symbolism of religion coming down. If you haven't, you might want to go check it out. I do a little indescriptive, little impromptu kind of like, this is what this is meaning, this is what this is meaning, So I would definitely go check it out, folks. Now, here's that Chicago Heights fire, folks, from that chemical plant / warehouse that they call it. Watch this.
Here are a couple more videos of that fire that we were flying over this morning in Chicago Heights. So is that a manufacturing facility at 11th and Washington? And just look.
Now, it says manufacturing facility, but there's train tracks right next to it, folks. Check this out. What do they manufacture? Chemicals.
Look at all of that smoke coming.
See right here? Train tracks. And it comes around back behind where they put the chemicals onto it.
From that area. Thankfully, hearing no injuries involved in this fire, but crews are still on the scene. And take a look at this. This is the view as we were approaching about 15 miles away. Crazy
stuff. Okay, now here's a little map that Figgy put together. And it shows here, now the starting location is incorrect. It's actually over here, Ohio, near Pennsylvania, West Virginia. It's actually more over here. But it goes from here down to South Carolina. But since Figgy put this together, there's one down here in Kissimmee, Florida. Then it goes over here to Houston, Texas, up here to Oklahoma, where that tank caught on fire. Then over here into Arizona. Now something happened over here in Oregon. She said, I can't find it right now, but something happened over here in Oregon. And then back over here, something happened in Minnesota. And I knew something that I can't. Like I said, I can't find a lot of this stuff. I've literally been flooded with so much information about this stuff, folks. It's hard to keep track or keep it in order. Not to mention, we got whatever happened up here in Ontario, Canada, right up over in here, just north of Michigan, right over in this area. And then you got something that happened over in the Netherlands. then you got something going on in Mecca. Like folks, there's some crazy stuff going on right now. It's going all over the place. We really need to be paying attention. All right, folks. This right here is Erin Brockavich. For those of you who do not know, there was a movie made about her and her being a environmental activist. She's very well renowned consumer advocate for basically fighting for people's rights, to live and not be poisoned by chemical companies or pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that. So you can actually go right to, it's called Brockavich.com. I came here yesterday, went right to contact Erin, tapped on it, and I sent her a message. She's got all my information. So by all means, folks, come on over here. Go to Erin Brockavich's website and say, hey, we know a guy. He sent you an email, blah, 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 blah. We got water. He's got, someone's got water samples that they like to send you, and they're out in this area. And, so we can try and get this ball rolling. I would really love to be able to talk with Erin Brockavich myself and see if I can't get her in an interview, and have her on. That would be like fantastic, and kind of let her know about all these different areas. And now I'm sure she's getting information on different areas, but I mean, we're talking about something that's not just in our nation, which is where she can practice the most, but being here in the nation, seeing all of these things happening, I mean, this is going to be massive. So by all means, come on over and let her know. Say, hey, so we know somebody contact you. Please contact him. We're concerned, and he's trying to get the truth out. Whether you know about all these other accidents or not, he's very well aware. Something along that line. But yeah, what you were just saying right before I hit record again, there, Justin, is that they are absolutely hitting the water supply, because by putting this stuff up in the air, it's going to come down in rain clouds, and it's going to get in the water, our rivers, our lakes, streams, everything, all those toxins.
From all the incidents, it seems like are always conveniently located near rivers, and there's always streams that immediately carry it to the rivers, and then the rivers just carry it throughout. Most communities, I've come to just realize this recently because I live in one of them, but I never paid attention until really all this is that communities that are along the river directly tapped into the river. Like there's no reservoirs, where the tap water for the city that I live in, it's as gross as it sounds to me, is directly linked to the river. So
yeah, showing everybody right now, she's got a book. It says Erin Brockavich, Superman's Not Coming, Our National Water Crisis and What We the People Can Do About It. Ain't that something?
Yeah, that's something.
It really is. So hopefully we hear back from her. But Justin, I certainly appreciate you. We're going to try and get Figs on here in just a moment, and her and I are going to have a little discussion. So we will talk at you later, Justin. Love you, brother. Stay safe.
Love you too, buddy. Stay up, everybody.
All right, folks, while we're still waiting for Figs, if I can get her on. Folks, now given in mind all of these locations that have had these chemical concoction, okay, you've got crude oil right here in Port of Catoosa. You got the train derailment. We don't even know what the chemicals are yet here in Houston. You got the chemical plant here in Kissimmee, Florida. You got the stuff going on in East Palestine, Ohio. You got the one here in Detroit. And then you got something that happened over here in Minnesota. Look at these fronts. Now, watch what's about to happen. Okay, you see this right here? This is like a huge channel of just blank space. No clouds, no thunder, nothing. But watch this. This all of a sudden just comes up out of nowhere, coincidentally, picking up the stuff from Oklahoma, brings it all the way up here into Chicago, and right over here blending in some kind of a disgusting concoction right over here into Ohio, West Virginia area. I mean, did you see that brighten up? Like, what the heck is that? Like it's getting shot or something. Whoop, it just develops up, and it's going to be coming up this way. What is happening here? Like, this is what they're planning on happening. What? All of that stuff is going to get spread all over this area. And by the way, this is actually from Mike Morales' channel from a couple of days ago. And Mike, if you're watching, I hope you're okay with me using your video. Now, something's got to make you wonder why. Why are they all of a sudden doing all of this, right? I mean, that's what goes through my mind. Why would somebody do this? How could somebody even have the gall to do this? Like, I mean, sheer evil, right? But usually we also know about smokes and mirrors. Like, look over here, well, so you're not looking over here. Could this be the reason WikiLeaks just dropped all of their files online about someone's emails, the McCain's being guilty, the Vegas shooting done by somebody, Steve Jobs' HIV letter, Podesta, Afghanistan, Syria, Iran, Bilderberg. This is why all of a sudden these things are starting to pop off, because they don't want anybody noticing this, that is being leaked out there and talked about. One thing to keep in mind, folks, they will not break us. Don't let them break you. We must break them. So keep your eyes open, folks. No fear. And remember that love is the only way forward.